It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert with 5 things you need to know for this Thursday. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe, share with your friends, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and then stick around after the break. We'll tell you how to guarantee we never get canceled. Item number 5 today, Israel, of course. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas reportedly on his way to visit Russia next Monday and Tuesday. This confirmed by a couple of media sources in Russia. This visit will include a sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It's worth noting that Monday, August 12th, is the first day of Tisha B'Av, which begins at sundown. Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. That's the date on the Hebrew calendar that marks the destruction of Solomon's temple in 586 BC by Nebuchadnezzar, and again in 70 AD by the Romans. It's a day of mourning, fasting, self-reflection, self-denial for Jews. And because Muslims tend to like launching major attacks that coincide with Hebrew holidays for psychological effect, it is notable that Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas is getting out of Dodge on that day. Now, is there a connection there? Maybe not. Just worth noting, some Western intelligence services talking to Sky News Arabia said that they believe it will be Tisha B'Av when Iran launches its military response to the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last week. Item number 4, immigration. The Biden administration is pausing a controversial program that flies asylum seekers from 4 countries directly into the United States. This program has brought tens of thousands of migrants from these 4 nations into the U.S. It's now on hold after a report circulated internally at the Department of Homeland Security showed significant amounts of fraud in the program. I am shocked to find gambling going on in here. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed to Fox News that out of an abundance of caution, it would pause the program, which allows up to 30,000 nationals from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to enter into the U.S. each month, legally under the administration's use of parole if they meet certain conditions. The pause began in mid-July after an internal report unearthed huge amounts of fraud in applications by those sponsoring the applicants. So again, these are not the people filling out the applications that are fraudulent, it's the sponsor applications. Parts of the report shared with Fox News by the Federation for American Immigration Reform, or FAIR, showed that more than 100,000 forms were filled out by 3,218 serial sponsors. Serial sponsors are those who filled out more than 20 or more forms, or whose official number issued by DHS is on more than 20 forms. It also found that 24 of the 1,000 most used ID numbers belong to dead people. Meanwhile, 100 physical addresses were used between 124 and 739 times on over 19,000 forms. 19,000 people jammed into 100 addresses? Might raise a red flag. Some of those, especially because some of those addresses include storage units. One sponsor phone number was submitted on over 2,000 forms, and there were 2,839 forms with non-existent sponsor zip codes. You'd think that would be pretty easy to check. Remember, this program was being run by the Department of Homeland Security. It's their job to do background checks on stuff like this. A lawsuit challenging the program was shot down in court earlier this year, but the Republican attorneys general who brought the suit say they are going to appeal. Topic number 3, save the children. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, recommended puberty blockers despite noting that the drugs are associated with, and I quote, an increased risk of depression and suicidality, end quote. What? I mean, aren't we reliably informed that gender-affirming care is essential to the mental health and well-being of transgender youth? That gender-affirming care saves lives? Now, not so much. It's essential, apparently, to increasing the stock value for the companies that produce and distribute the drugs. The Daily Signal obtained an email from the FDA from January of 2022 that reveals that the clinical team leader at the FDA's Division of General Endocrinology noted that the agency's Division of Metabolism and Endocrinology Products performed a safety review of a certain type of puberty blocker. Shannon Sullivan, clinical team leader at the FDA's Division of General Endocrinology, wrote that the review found, quote, increased risk of depression and suicidality, as well as increased seizure risk, end quote. So physical negative side effects as well as emotional and psychological side effects. But then Sullivan went on to recommend approving the drug for use in minors. If it's not about saving the lives of the trans kids, and the FDA admits that this was not the case, increased risk of suicidality and depression, that's exactly the opposite of what the gender-affirming care is supposed to produce. Why then at this point you would hope that it's simply greed is the answer, because that's the least bad option. If it's not greed, then it's something else. Spiritual is what it is. Topic number 2, the seven mountains. Speaking of spiritual, liberal journalists are having a toxic freakout over what they're calling a secretive organization of ultra-rich Christians who are trying to influence the 2024 elections. This organization is called Ziklag. That's the name of the town in the Negev where David took refuge from Saul when Saul was trying to kill him. It's also from where David began his ascent to power to become first the king of Judah and then the king of all Israel. Well, Ziklag includes some very wealthy Christian families, including the families behind Hobby Lobby and Uline, which is a business supply store. It's where we get the boxes and tape to send you books from the bookstore. Ziklag is open by invitation only, and you've got to demonstrate a net worth of at least $25 million to get in. The group has pulled its website offline with the attention it's been getting from liberal journalists at NBC and Democracy Now!, ProPublica, other places who are just panicking. Tonight we reveal to you an exclusive, secretive organization. You get this idea of people wearing hoods in dark rooms and candles and things. That's not what's going on here. It's a group that is trying to spend a little money to motivate Republicans to vote and also clear voter rolls of fraudulent registrations, voter registrations in a number of swing states. They want to clean the rolls of about a million fraudulent voter registrations. Now look, you could probably find 1 million fraudulent voter registrations in Cook County, Illinois. It's the area around Chicago, but I digress. Anyway, they're convinced that because of the $12 million that Ziklag is spending to do this, that somehow they're going to impose the Handmaid's Tale. They're going to make a Handmaid's Tale a reality. They're going to impose a theocracy and we'll never be allowed to vote again. This is laughable for a couple of reasons. First of all, $12 million. Media tells us that just in the last 2 weeks, wealthy liberal donors have coughed up about $300 million for the Kamala Harris presidential campaign. Secondly, Mark Zuckerberg by himself spent about $400 million in the 2020 election just to fortify the election with vote drop boxes and things like that. So 12 million compared to that 300 or 400 million is a drop in the bucket. Secondly, look around. Does it look to you as though America is ready to welcome a Christian theocracy at the ballot box or any other way? This is laughable. It is nothing more than gaslighting by the liberal media to try to scare progressives into making sure they get out and vote. God bless them and bless their pointy little heads. Now, having said that, Ziklag does subscribe to something called the Seven Mountains Mandate, which is a belief that God calls his people to take dominion of the 7 spheres of cultural influence: arts and entertainment, business, church, education, family, government, and media. And that by so doing, we will Christianize the earth and prepare it for Christ's return. Again, that is not going to happen, nor should it be our goal. Our goal is to change hearts and minds at the grassroots level by making disciples of all nations and baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Get out and vote, by all means, but don't think that's going to save the country. Coming up, media in other countries is just as bad as it is here. I'll give you an example next on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can easily and conveniently stream this incredible new film, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, right now at skywatchtv.com/stream or on the mobile app for immediate access. However, if you'd like to receive your own hard copy on DVD, Skywatch TV is proud to announce the Void Earth Ultra Collection. When you order this exclusive collection from the Skywatch TV store, you'll receive the brand new documentary from Defender Investigative Films, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, along with Dr. Thomas Horn and Reverend Donna Howell's best-selling book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time. These powerful works present astounding revelations like no other, taken directly from the Word of God, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well into one balanced and agreeable climax. They reveal precisely how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point irrefutably to an intelligent race of beings here on Earth thriving before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen dominion. They pull back the veil on exactly what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, and so much more, featuring Dr. Michael Lake, Derek Gilbert, Reverend Donna Howell, Gary Stearman, and the late Dr. Thomas Horn in what would become his last documentary appearance ever. But that's not all. You'll also receive 315, The Genesis of All Prophecy by the legendary Rabbi Eric Walker. This prophetic, convicting, and heart-rending book exposes anti-Semitism as Satan's plan to eliminate the Jews and the catastrophic consequences the world will face if this agenda succeeds. Sold separately, all of these items hold a retail value of $75. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Void Earth Ultra Collection now.
Item number one today, once again, the media going into a freak out over what turns out to be fake news. A number of Turkish media outlets took a joke seriously and began running exposés on the identity of the alleged assassin of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, who, as we've mentioned, died in Tehran last week. It appears as though it was the result of bombs placed in an Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps guest house in advance and then triggered remotely. Well, a number of Turkish media outlets identified the assassin of Ismail Haniyeh as an Israeli agent by the name of Amit Nakesh. This was first reported by Haber Global. That report later erased because somebody pointed out to the Turkish language media outlet that the name was a play on the Hebrew word Hamit Nakesh, which means the assassin. See, in Hebrew, that H is often dropped, and Amit is a popular name in Hebrew. So somebody, play on words, Amit Nakesh, the assassin. Well, not to be outdone, other media outlets in Turkey, not getting the joke, went even further than Haber Global. A newspaper wrote a profile for Amit Nakesh, claiming that he was a veteran Mossad agent who'd formerly served in other Israeli security bodies. A smaller media outlet posted this to their YouTube channel, reported on the identity of the assassin and wrote that even though Amit Nakesh is a veteran of the Israeli security services, he may be an Israeli of Indian origin. The report added that security experts are closely examining Amit Nakesh's role and involvement in the murder of Ismail Haniyeh. Again, we don't know who did it, but Amit Nakesh is a play on the Hebrew words meaning the assassin. But this isn't the first time something like this has happened. Back in May, when the helicopter carrying Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi crashed killing Raisi. There were memes that circulated on social media saying that the crash had been intentionally caused by a Mossad agent by the name of Eli Copter. L.A. Copter. The media just looking for clicks all over. This week on Skywatch TV, we continue our discussion of the age of the Earth and the new documentary Void Earth from Defender Investigative Films that features Tom Horn, Gary Stearman, Dr. Michael Lake, Donna Howell, whose book Before Genesis is the inspiration for the documentary, and yours truly contributing a little bit to that. I was honored to host the panel discussion about the documentary. You can watch it right now and the two previous programs in the series at our website, skywatchtv.com, skywatchtv.com, home of all of our video content. You can also catch it right now over the air. Our broadcast schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Roku, Apple TV, we are there as well. You can watch online, youtube.com/Skywatch Television, at Skywatch Television, that is, rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or get our free mobile app for your smartphone or tablet. All of our video content comes right to your device and bypasses the gatekeepers of big tech, meaning if we get kicked out of somebody else's sandbox, we're not canceled. There you go. Our app is available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire devices. Grace is very excited about this. She recommends it wholeheartedly. In fact, she likes to cast it from her iPad up to the smart TV in our living room. Works great, wirelessly. And again, we've got links to those app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 online, youtube.com/@5 in 10 on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching. As we keep watch, I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.